You know, folks, it says it right there, as of 3/25/13, fans talking John Cena heel turn. Yeah, it's not the first time, is it? And I guess you can't really blame them for the way things went off. Things went, down last night during that Q&A main event segment. I don't think you can blame anybody. But how many times have we said, oh, this is the right situation, what's going to happen, or it's going to happen here, or it's going to happen there? There's a lot of people like Richard Gray at the Wrestling News World, many others out there that are like, hey, we'll believe it when we see it. And I can honestly agree, and I agree with them. I'll believe it when I see it. Would it be interesting? Yeah, it would be an interesting turn because, let's face it, John Cena hasn't really been a heel since late 2002, throughout most of 2003. He hasn't really been a bad guy. He hasn't really been that way. He's mostly now been a good guy, been the, hustle, loyalty, respect. He hasn't really, been, that heelish or anything. And, I can understand that a lot of people would look at last night's Q&A session and the way he reacted and the way he was talking and all that, that perhaps there is a slight hint that it might happen, especially when he says that April 7th, despite what happens in the match, the WWE is going to change forever or something like that. It's going to change, the match, that the outcome of the match will change the WWE forever. I mean, I can understand how people feel about that. But it's like a lot of people are saying, you got to take a lot of things into consideration of what may happen. One, you got to look at things in a WWE standpoint. One, merchandise. Two, here's a guy that goes out and does all these charities. And three, he's pretty much the face of your company. So, so basically, you're willing to say that WWE is going to, basically during this period in time, where recently they've announced they're going to be more kid-friendly and kind of target more of the mom, children audience or demographic than ever before. You're telling me that even with that announcement, that they're going to chance all that just to turn, along with everything I mentioned, they're going to chance all that just to turn John Cena heel. Let's face reality, it's not going to happen. Okay, let's face reality, it's not going to happen. The fact is, basically, my guess is John Cena last night tried to, they did the Q&A and I thought it was intense and everything. I thought it was I know many people have a different view of it, but I thought it was it got, despite how you feel, how it came off, it sort of got the point across. It sort of got the job done. It put emphasis on the match, if you will. But you also have to understand that I think John kind of realized, hey, I'm in Philadelphia. These fans pretty much hate my guts anyway. Might as well embrace it. Because let's not forget, John has done this before. He did it last year in some ways with The Rock. They're in a city to where they pretty much hate his guts. He embraces it. I mean, he even said last night on the mic, hey, either these people like me or they don't. And he let it be known. He's not going to change. But again, from what you saw last night, from what many saw last night, I can understand why that question is being asked again. Will John Cena turn heel? And again, like I said, and once again, I emphasize, you're going to take everything that you focus, that you have your primary focus on with him, the charities, the Make-A-Wish foundations, and all that, the merchandise, and being the face of your company. You're going to chance all that along with the fact that they just announced they're going to try to target the mother and children demographic even more so than than they have, you're going to cancel that by turning John Cena heel. Again, as everybody's saying, we'll believe it when we'll see it. Or we'll believe it when we see it. Because here's why. Right now we're in a situation to where John Cena is basically whether you like it or not, is what they need to represent the PG era. And let's face it, the guy appeared on Saturday Morning Slam around the 5th, 6th episode. On the 4th or 5th episode of Saturday Morning Slam, he appeared and competed. Alright? If they wanted to turn him heel, he wouldn't be doing that stuff. Heck, do you see CM Punk on Saturday Morning Slam yet? Not yet. We probably will, but not yet. But the point is, you're not going to see it just yet. You wouldn't see someone like John Cena on Saturday Morning Slam if they wanted to make him a heel. And again, you think they're going to chance that? I don't think so. I don't think so. You see, you have to understand that despite how he came off last night, John realizes, whether you like the guy or not, he realizes that when he's in a city like Philadelphia, which is basically ECW, Wrestling Mark City territory, the wrestling mark capital of the world, if you will, he knows he's going to get his ass booed out of the building. He knows that. So he's got to go and improvise and basically say, hey, look, go ahead, cheer me, go ahead, boo me. I don't care. He's going to have to take on that heelish tendency, if you will, because he's in a city that basically views him as the most despised individual they've ever seen, whether you like it or not. Now let's talk about why there's fans that would hope for the unthinkable to happen, for what they feel could be the unthinkable to happen. Here's why they feel, in my personal opinion, these are my opinions. First of all, these are my opinions. You can agree with them or not, it's up to you. But here's why a lot of fans are hoping the unthinkable happens and John Cena turns heel. Couple of reasons. One, they feel that him being the face and franchise of the company, and WWE putting so much into John Cena over the past decade, that if he turns heel, they feel WWE is going to have to turn with him. And by turning with him, they feel that WWE I don't know who that is, it's telemarketing. But they pretty much feel that by having John Cena turn, the WWE is going to have to turn with him, and that by doing so, take away that PG rating, take away that PG rating and replace it with a TV-14 rating, because, like I said, John Cena being the face and the franchise of the company, they pretty much feel, hey, if they turn him heel, or if he turns heel, they're going to have to turn with him, and they're going to have to go from being PG to 14 now. And they pretty much feel that by doing so, it will usher in an era that's similar to either the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era, or be an era that's a kind of a combination of both. That's why, in my personal opinion, again, these are my personal opinions, why they feel John Cena turning, basically they feel and hope for John Cena to turn heel. The second reason, as far as my personal opinions go, is it would give them an excuse to finally say, hey, look, we've taken that entire C Nation that was behind John, that cheered John, those mothers and those children, and we've now got them on our side, and now we, the Cena haters, have the entire WWE universe with us, booing the heck out of this guy. In other words, basically, basically, they would say, we have the entire universe on our side now, booing the hell out of this guy. So no longer will we have to deal with a dueling chant of, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. It'll be mostly, Cena sucks, Cena sucks. That's what they hope for. That's what they hope for. That's another reason, a second reason why they would hope John Cena would turn heel. Again, those are just two reasons, in my personal opinion, why, even after last night, why this question's always brought up, and why many hope that this happens. It's not because they want to cheer him. No. It's not because of that. It's because of two reasons. Like I said, the first reason, in my personal opinion, they feel if he turns, WWE's got to turn with them, and thus by doing so, they would take away the PG rating, put the 14 back up, and kind of start going towards an era, a new era that's sort of similar to either the Attitude or Ruthless Aggression era, or be a mixture of both. Or, the other reason, in my personal opinion, give them more of an excuse to have everybody, even the mothers and the children, turn against John, boo him directly out of the building, and no longer have to deal with the dueling chants. Again, these are just my personal opinions. You can agree with them whether you like, or you can agree with them if you want to or not, but this is basically why a lot of people are always asking this question, and why you have these fans, wrestling fans, hoping for the heel turn, for the unthinkable, in the eyes of some, to happen. But again, the old quote saying is, we'll believe it when we see it. That's about it. We'll believe it when we see it. We'll believe it when it happens. And if it happens at WrestleMania, that would be a shocker. It would be. But it's not going to. Because let's take a look at why it won't happen. One, you've already got rumors of turning Randy Orton heel. You've already got a CM Punk heel, if you will. You got Rock, after Mania or Extreme Rules, going off and doing his own thing, doing his movie deals. So, what's the point of having him turn heel? You know what I'm saying? And mostly you got Taker not always there. You don't have Triple H always competing. Brock Lesnar's part-time at most. What do you got left? See what I'm saying? Sheamus? Del Rio? Who? See, this is why they're not going to do it just yet. I mean, if they do it, it's great. But how many times have we had John Cena come out and say he's not going to change? Tell me, how many times? A lot, right? And again, I can understand a lot of fans would hope it would happen because of what I said, in my personal opinions, of what I said. Because they feel it would usher in a new era similar to Attitude, Ruthless Aggression. It would get rid of the PG rating, put the 14 rating back up. Or two, it would allow them to be able to say, hey, we've taken that C Nation, and they're now on our side booing the hell out of the guy. So, those are just my personal opinions. But that's why I feel they want a John Cena heel turn. I think mostly for the first reason, if not more than anything. But again, you got to take in all the factors I've mentioned. The Make-A-Wish foundations and charities. You got to look at the merchandise, ice and everything. You got to look at that stuff. You got to look at the face of the company. It's more importantly, you got to look at what they're targeting even more so now, if you will. The demographic they're targeting more so now. And again, you think they're going to want to risk all that? I don't think so. I don't think so, unless they find somebody that could embrace everything John has represented. So, but that's just my personal opinion. And this whole John Cena heel turn discussion and why fans are asking about it. So, let me know what you guys think. Comment below whether you agree with me or not. And that's all I'm going to say, and take care.